I am Neela Pushparaj. I'm at the Montserrat Contemporary Art Gallery, and this is my spotlight wall. The first painting I'd like to talk about are the marbles and the sandbox. Now that I'm a grandmother 5 times over, the significance of a sandbox is very meaningful to me, and the primary colors are very attractive for the children to look at. The painting above is called See You in Spring, and is my classic technique of throwing color on a wet paper and picking out shapes. You see the flowers bloom from the basic colors that were put on the paper. The pink, the blue, the yellow, the green all reflect spring to come. This one is the rust iris. Irises, as we all know, are very, very photogenic and colorful. So they are a delight to paint, and I enjoyed painting this one. Some of the irises are from the famous Iris Garden in Montclair, New Jersey. The one below is totally out of my head. It's called Anemones in a still life, and I really love the composition as well as the colors of the vase with the stems coming in through the translucent glass. The anemones are turning this way and that, and they look very natural in the vase. The painting on the lower right is a pink zinnia. The zinnia itself is very realistic, but the surroundings are decorative as well as design type of work. The red triangles bring out the pink flower. The flower itself is reminiscent of a summer garden. The one above is called Daisies in a White Vase, and it was my husband's favorite painting. The spotlight wall itself is an homage to the artist's spouse, and I wanted to show the painting that my husband liked. The one below, the Opus 84, is a painting of a mission like the ones you see in California. It's a Jesuit mission, and my husband went to a Jesuit boarding school at the age of 7. He graduated from Loyola College, which was named for St. Francis Xavier, who had a mission in India. From there, he was lucky enough to come to the United States, sponsored by one of his professors at Loyola College. He came from a background of almost no education. His mother was illiterate. His father had an 8th grade education. They came from a small village. His 2 older brothers went to college in India, but he was the first one to travel outside. When I met him in '63, he had transformed himself into such a polished, Americanized, westernized gentleman that I, who was a town person who came from a pseudo-westernized Protestant family, did not see him as a village bumpkin. And it was amazing to see how much he was able to change. This continued throughout his life. He was willing to change. He was the one who first gifted me with a watercolor class when I was in my late 40s, and that's when I caught the fever to paint watercolors. The painting above my right shoulder is called Opus 84 and was painted soon after he passed away. He was ill for a whole year before that, and I did not touch a brush during that whole year. So this painting reflects my sublimation of my feelings, and I was amazed that I was able to create this painting. It is a watercolor on canvas, and the periphery is painted with acrylic. It looks like a paper stuck on the canvas, but it actually is not. The purple iris is a more classic color, and the petals are almost waving in the breeze. The one below it is called Hello Mr. Dragonfly, and if you look at the colors here, they're very similar to the spring painting, where I have dropped the color and then picked out shapes of flowers. And here's Mr. Dragonfly. This spotlight is an homage to the artist's spouse, and I would like to say a few words about my husband. I was married to Gus for 53 years, and he was an amazing human being. And the first date we had was a party at the Indian Embassy. To see him, one would never think of him as a village bumpkin. He impressed me so much that we began to date very seriously, and we got married within a few months of meeting. The painting at the upper right corner is called Daisies in a White Vase, and it was one of his favorites among my paintings. Gus was a person of immense faith, and he had had a Jesuit education from the age of 7 until he was in his 19th or 20th year. And the mission painting is reflective of his Jesuit background. The Opus 84 is a painting of watercolor on canvas surrounded by an acrylic border. This is the painting I did 1 year after I had stopped painting because of my husband's serious illness. And soon after he passed away, I went to this artist residency in Beacon, New York, and this painting helped me sublimate my feelings. So that's why I called it Opus 84, since he was 84 when he passed away. My husband was very instrumental in my painting career. In fact, he was the one who gifted me with my first watercolor lesson in Summit, New Jersey. That's when I got the fever of painting watercolors, and now I am a prolific watercolor artist. Thank you for letting me show my paintings and express some of my feelings for my husband.